This is an official announcement from the Podcast Tonight Awards. Your favourite show that you're listening to right now has been officially nominated for a Podcast Tonight Award. But the power is in your hands. Amongst other categories, this show is in the running for the prestigious Listener's Choice Award, and they need your vote to win. You can show your support and help them get the recognition they deserve. The link to vote is in their show notes and bio. Go now and make your voice heard. This has been a message from Podcast Tonight, celebrating the best in audio.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch transportation.
It's probably the least sexy part of the work. No. The truth is,
Today's guest is someone who's on a mission to bring joy, imagination, and real human connection back into our lives. Shannon Coulter, also known as SS Coulter, is an author, coach, and the creator of the Planet FASSA universe, a playful world designed to get kids off screens and back into creativity. She also hosts the Let There Be Joy podcast, where she helps adults break free from tech overload and rediscover a life filled with purpose, presence, and fun. She's passionate about inspiring families to reconnect and teaching all of us, young and old, to embrace a life with more play and a lot more joy. And when I tell you that she brings the joy, trust me, because in the green room, she had me laughing. I mean, we were just having a blast. And just, I came in, I was sitting here, I'm like, man, I don't want to record this morning. This is going to be such a bummer. She comes on, she has computer problems, and I felt so good. No.
It's the ulterior motive behind everything I'm doing is just to get everybody offline with me because I can't be on technology.
Hey, how you doing, Shannon? No, look, here's the thing. I was getting ready to call you Joy. See, it just radiates off of you. It radiates off you.
Oh, well, I am so happy to be here. Like you said, we have been laughing since we could hear each other.
Yeah.
No sound. Yeah.
So if all of a sudden we just lose everything, it's because Shannon touched her computer.
Yeah. Oh, God. It does say, okay, we're going to make it through. But,
yeah, the listeners are probably already, they're like, what in the world are they talking about? So I gotta tell them. So Shannon told me in the green room that when she came on the first time, I could hear her, but she couldn't hear me. She had to restart her computer. And then I could hear her. The scary thing is she informed me that she has a tendency to, I don't want to say break computers. I want to say blow them up. Because was it with your work where you went through 5 laptops?
My first job, yeah, as a consultant, yeah.
5 laptops. They made her wear the grounding strap, which you're only supposed to wear when you're taking the computers apart or the laptops apart. But they made her wear a grounding. Wait a minute, if you were wearing a grounding strap, how did you break the other ones?
They were about to switch me to that because they got so sick of me.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no. See, joy is electrifying. That's the name of the episode.
Okay, so here's a scary question then. Because with your books, they're children's books, the illustrations and everything, do you write them on your computer?
No, yes, I do. But you know what? This is funny. I actually do a lot of handwriting. I love handwriting. That's just how I like to get my stuff out on paper first. I don't know why. There's something to the way my letters are, my hands move. And I could switch colors of pens and it just feels more real.
Yeah.
Holding a pen. So I still like to do that a lot.
That's great. I think that's something that's missing from generations.
Absolutely. I think one of the most important things people can do for themselves is journal.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
take a pen and just let yourself free flow, because on the computer, if you're like me, and you could probably tell I'm kind of all over the map. I mean, I'm like, ooh, an email, ooh, this, ooh, and that. Sit in a corner and write with my journal. But yeah, and actually the illustrations, and I'm going to brag on them in the books, are beautiful. I had nothing to do with them
Really?
other than I explained the characters in my books are the 7 cats and dogs my husband and I have adopted and loved throughout our lives. So we wrote biographies for them, and
Oh, wow.
and I gave several illustrators pictures of the real them, and then they came up with cartoon characters. And actually, we had more cats than dogs. We had to turn 2 of our cats into dogs, and I felt bad about that. But dogs are like more approachable than cats. But the illustrations are just beautiful, and I can't draw a stick figure. So
Yeah, I'm the same way.
really grateful for it. I don't know how I'm so creative in one side, but then the other, I just don't have it. But that's why we need each other, because we all have different things that we're good at. But yeah, it was really a lot of fun to create the characters.
So each book has a different illustrator?
Well, so I had a group of illustrators. I hired someone. Yeah, I hired someone to be the main illustrator, and then he reached out and had different people work with me.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's why they all they look like they're the same group, but they, with the way things are today, they're very good at being able to not copy, but make characters very similar.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Actually, because I was looking at the covers, and I mean, they're simply amazing. And
they did a great job.
I love the fact that you want to get kids and adults off their phones. I don't want to say just off their phones, even away from the video games, the TV, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have this question for you. And to me, because I've had a lot of children's authors on.
Okay.
To me, what makes a children's book so good is that not just a child can learn from it, but an adult can learn from it as well. Are your books that way?
I hope so.
Okay.
I really do hope so. So I use humor that I believe, kind of has humor for the kids and humor for the adults. And then all of my books teach a life lesson. Like my first one is persistence pays off. And so I go through and I just teach that. And then I do 2 plot twists where the character goes off of the path of making good decisions, because I want to teach kids choices and consequences.
Yeah.
So I show them doing something that's quote unquote not a good decision, and then they don't get to the happy ending. So for the first book, it's persistence pays off, and then my 2 plot twists are, if at first you don't succeed, try again, and then mind over matter. And I'm writing for kids, but these are things that we need as adults.
Absolutely.
And then what I do is I give 5 activities that kind of repeat what the characters are doing in the stories, but then the kids are off and they're using their bodies and talking and doing this stuff. So they're applying what they learned in the real world, because that's a great way to learn. And then what I do for the adults is I give talking points. So, talk to your kids about this, this, and this. And that was for me. I can give you my values. I can tell you what my values are. I think it's way more important as a parent, a grandparent, to be able to give kids your ideas. So I say persistence pays off, but you talk to your kids about it. You tell them your stories, because I wanted to get people talking again, because I find that the screens are taking that away too. And then our kids aren't learning face-to-face communication. So that's where, I think the adults will have fun with it, because then they're getting a prompt. It's not when the kids come home and they're like, how was school? Fine.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Nothing. So with this, it's, hey, you did this activity. There's something we can talk about. And then the goal is that the parents and the kids will just keep talking about more stuff, because I love when my parents told me stories.
Yeah.
But when you're competing with technology, my parents didn't have to compete with technology. It's a horrible thing. And I think what makes my books different, what I was really going for. So the Planet FASSA actually comes from Mufasa.
I had a feeling, but a different meaning.
Yes, and I didn't want to get sued by Disney.
Nobody wants that.
They'll sue anybody, I've heard. So I made it FASSA, and I spelled it FASSA, and then I made it an acronym. So when you come to the Planet FASSA, you're coming to a planet full of fun activity, story, service, awards. And so the books are just one part of the whole thing, because like it or not, we are driven by points.
Yeah.
Like, people are driven by points. I joke about this, but it's so true. I get excited about the points I earn for spending my own money on my credit card.
I think everybody does.
Right? And that's like the silliest thing. You're like, yeah. Or like one of the dumbest things I've done. I was just in a mood. It was really late. I was flying back from somewhere and I was just kind of slap happy. And I had to go to the ATM at the airport. And I put in my, my card, and my money comes out, and I grab my money. I'm like, I won. And people like started coming around me like, no, it's my money. But anyway, we're kind of points, and I was just tired being.
I'm gonna have to try that now.
It's really funny. People like really react to you. You're like, no, it's my money. Anyway. But yeah, give it a try, everyone. So, I really, before I became really passionate about this, and I can tell you all why, but I was in consulting where I was breaking all my computers. And, the last kind of thing I did, I was a communications consultant. Toward the end of my career there, before I left, I was doing wellness programs.
Okay.
And so that was really awesome to me. The other stuff I was doing, the bread and butter of my consulting, was telling people how to sign up for PPOs and HMOs. That was like, annual enrollment.
Uh-huh.
But I got to do, and stock plans and all this stuff. I got to do some cool stuff. But when I got into the wellness stuff, that is what filled me with joy. Honestly, because I was helping people stop smoking, start walking more, do all this stuff. I even wrote campaigns for truck drivers about how they needed to get their sleep better, sleep deprivation and stuff like that. And it was having this awesome effect on people, but they were often called health incentive programs. So the employees could do stuff for points.
Right.
They'd earn points, and then the company would set up stuff they can buy with points. And it just worked beautifully. So when I, back in 2008, so I'll get into the story of what changed my life forever. I'm a stepmom. So I have 3 beautiful stepchildren who are now 28, 26, and 22. I met them when they were 4, 8, and 10. And yeah, so I've been with them they're my kids.
Wow.
I say they came prepackaged. That's all. Good for me.
That's what my older brother always called his stepkids, his rent-a-kids.
Yeah, they're just a bonus. They're awesome. I'm so blessed, right? So I meet them. I'm going to age myself, but I don't really care. It is what it is. I like people to know how old I am, because then they can know why things are the way they are. I don't understand. I'm like, yeah, those wrinkles are from years of whatever I do. So I'm 31 at the time, and I'm Gen X. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell these kids to go outside and play. Like, this is going to be awesome, right? So I tell them to go outside and play. This is 2008. This is before the smartphone. They come in 5 minutes later and have no idea what to do.
Wow.
They said, we don't know what to do, Ms. Shannon. And I was floored. And it really, really bothered me. And back then in 2008, like I said, that was before the smartphone. That's before we all had the internet in our pocket. I knew in my gut that something was going to go wrong with this. And I now that we're 18 years later, now we know what was wrong, but I knew at that moment, and I talked to you before, the Holy Spirit, I don't know what it was, said, this is going to be a problem. For me, I think at the time, I just was sad for them.
Yeah.
It's hard to look back and remember exactly what I was thinking, but I was sad. I was like, you are missing out on childhood.
Yep.
Like, you were missing out on the thing I love the most. I go out and play on my swing set by myself for 4 hours. Now, that's a little weird, but I'm weird,
Well, no, you're right. It's amazing when we were kids, the stuff that we could do just to amuse ourselves.
Yeah, and we talk about it, and so, and we say the lights came on and all this stuff, but that's true and it's real. And so when I took a step back, I was like, so what's happening here? Oh, it's because we're competing with screens. Mom and dad didn't have screens. And so what I started to do was go out on Google and try to find activities for them to do. I could come up with some, but I'm 31 years old. I'm not having the same imagination I did. And plus, I now know that I was being sucked into screens, right? So I go out to Google, I'm trying to find all this stuff, and then I'm overwhelmed. It's not organized. And then also there was Pinterest at the time. And have you ever heard the show Nailed It? Do you know the show Nailed It?
It sounds familiar.
So people come on and they try to bake things that look like really well done things.
Okay.
But they are terrible at them. So it's like Nailed It, but it's not anywhere close. It's hysterical. That's me with crafts. Okay, so I don't want to be going out on Pinterest to be like, oh, look at this, and mine's like just awful.
God.
So, so I'm feeling that kind of weird pressure of the perfect Pinterest post and the not organized. And so I say to my husband, I'm like, why don't we make a wellness program for kids?
I love
So
that.
why don't we do that? And so we'll put easy to do activities, not these like you need all this stuff and you have to be perfect to do it, which is fine. Good for you if you can do that. I just couldn't. It's just not how I'm built, and I don't like shopping. So I don't want to have to go out and buy all this stuff. Now you can go on Amazon, but but I just wanted to be like, here's hot lava monster. You need 3 pillows. This is how you play it. Because at the time, a lot of people aren't thinking about that. I say it to you and you're like, oh, duh. I say freeze tag to you, duh, but you're not going to think about it as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
So those are, and there's more in-depth ones in there, but those are the activities. And then I tied them to mind, heart, and body points. So if you have a kid that comes home, both your kids come home from school and they're not being nice to each other, you can pick heart-focused activities and be like, hey, kids, do this.
Mm-hmm.
And we had it tied to, how long they would take. And anyway, so then we have those points, the kids earn the points, and then mom and dad set up rewards for them to earn with them. And it could be as simple as you get to stay up 5 minutes later, but knows what makes your kid tick. So if they come home every day and you're like, okay, you need to earn 200 FASSA points to stay up 5 minutes later. And the idea was to get the kids playing more, because as they're playing more, their neurons are wiring for imagination. You don't need the screens as much. So continuing on with that, what I wanted to do with it as I wrote these children's books, because I wanted the kids to start getting interested in the activities, because that's the kind of activities that are in the website. And I also had the 7 characters. So when the kids go out to the website, they can pick the character they want to be. And all 7 represent totally different kind of people. So just trying to get them like reading and all this stuff. So long story short, I did that back in like 2010, 11. We didn't have a market for it.
What?
People were
because
they didn't know.
Yeah.
So we were way ahead of the curve. We had, this was Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
This was all that stuff. But then we spent all this money on this website because we didn't have the type of stuff we have now. And we came out with it. I also, totally in honesty, I had a coach. I didn't listen to anything he said because that's brilliant. Right. I wanted to come out with the entire Planet FASSA. So anyway, I come out with it with my husband. It flops. There's no market for it. And then some stuff happened personally in our life that I had to just put it down.
Right.
And I ended up, crazy story. We lived in Chicago at the time. That's where I'm from. But now my husband moved to Indiana.
Go Blackhawks. Sorry.
Yes. No. Good.
My daughter would kill me for saying that.
You know what? You should always say that. Brilliant. So my husband had to take a job. This is, right when the economy had crashed. So my husband had to take a job in Indiana, which we're here now. Their mom moved to California. So I ended up being a single stepmom with them in Chicago. Totally weird. But the cool thing about it was I got to be a mom. Yeah. And now I come back at you with my older kids going, I saw what technology did to them. I did do Planet FASSA with them, and it saved them. Had I known what I know now, I would have put them on screens less. I didn't know. So they were probably on still more than I would have let them be. But I know this works because I did it with them. But now I can come at you, and I joke about this. Before I had empathy for what people were going through. Now I have sympathy because I've been through it as a parent. I'm like, oh, this is hard. So during 2020, when we all saw how much these screens really messed up our kids, I'm like, and I couldn't stop dreaming about the FASSA Tales and Planet FASSA. I'm like, okay, this is the time. This is when we're going to go for it. So I rewrote the books, and I'm in the middle right now in November of 2025. We turned the website into a very easy to use app. So it's not got all this stuff. It hasn't come out yet. Okay. It's called the FASSA. It's a fun app. And it really is. I just did beta testing, got great feedback. Look, I'm listening this time to feedback. Look at that. She grows. Took half a century, but now I can listen to people. Yeah.
There's the shoulder.
Shoulder pain.
Stop making me laugh. It hurts.
Yeah, sorry. But what the purpose of the app is going to be, it's in your hands. You've got this app. Your kids come home. You want them to do a half an hour, whatever you want. off of these screens. You go on my app, you pick what you want, tells you what to do, walks you through it, and then you get to reward your kids with points. And all the long activities have a main activity. Then I give them a challenge because I want the kids to see how they can turn something into something different. Like,
Right.
hey, we were playing with the stick this way. Now we can play with it that way. And then there's things to talk about. And that's the thing I was talking to you about here's questions you can ask your kids. And we give points for all the stuff the kids do. And I think we're going to add another point system for if your kid comes home and just plays by themselves. Reward them for it. That's amazing.
I love this.
Yeah, and it's a matter of, like I said, we put it out there. It's a little more complicated than I wanted it to be. So we're going to scale it down a little bit. And my other favorite part about it, and this was really for me, we have the nuggets, but then we have 4 quick hits. And the quick hits are for when like you're in the doctor's office, standing in line with your kids, grocery store. That's called in line.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the car, that's road trip. If you need time by yourself, parent time, or if you want to talk to them, those are quick little things. You hit them and we go, here's something you can do right now. So you're not putting your kid on the iPhone in the car. You're not putting them on the iPhone in the grocery cart. Do this with them. And the idea is they're wanting to do it because there's points, right? But they're also going to start wanting to do it because we are rewiring their brains back to have imagination. And that's what I learned that I didn't know back when I started this. I made up this thing called the imagination muscle. And it occurred to me, if you're on screens all the time and you're not playing, your imagination muscle, just like every other muscle, just like my shoulder right now, it's been 2 weeks and it's like atrophied. Everyone, I had shoulder surgery and Rich is having like complete sympathetic pain. So that's what's going on with our shoulders. But things atrophy really quickly, extremely quickly. I mean, you had a guy on your show who was, I think he was in a coma for 9 months or something like that. I can't even imagine how long that took him. I had my arm in a sling for a week and it just lost the muscle. So imagine if your kids are on screens all the time. Their brain is wiring for fast rewards, stimulation. It's just bad. The part of their brain for patience, eye contact is shrinking because I'm sure many people hear this. Neurons that wire together, wire together.
Right.
So if you're playing outside, if you're playing with your friends, if you're talking, that part of your brain is wiring. And that's what you're going to want to do. If you're on screens, you're wired for switching apps, switching things all the time. Like I said, with my computer, you've got to be very careful about that. Mm-hmm. It's one thing for adults to have to deal with that. It's another thing when a brain is developing to have that. We are hurting our children.
Oh, big time.
Big time. And I will say, I don't blame any of us right now. I'm not blaming myself because I didn't know, but now we know.
Yeah.
And I call the smartphone the cigarette of the 2020s. Now we know, stop putting your kids on it.
Digital addiction is real.
It's extremely real. So one of the other things I did, so that's the Planet FASSA. The Planet FASSA right now, it's the books, it's the upcoming app. And eventually, and this is going to sound a little weird, I want to do a website. And this is why I want to do it. I want the kids to learn to be on technology, but I want when they're out there, it to be extremely helpful.
Right.
So right now, when they see mom and dad on my app, they're seeing them get something off the app and put the phone down. Okay. That's how you should work with your phone. Yeah. My dream is for the website is that they go out, they can pick one of the characters. Cassie is my scientist. They go out with Cassie. Cassie teaches them. They can be with Cassie inside a cell and they can learn what a cell is, or they can be with Rocky and learn how to kick a soccer ball. And it's 10 minutes on there and then they go out and kick a soccer ball in the real world because they need to learn technology, but it needs to be, short, sweet. And it's the YouTube video that you're watching how to bake a pie versus you're watching, I don't even know what you're watching. And then you're doom scrolling for hours, right? So that's the dream of that. But as I went out and started talking about it, a lot of people said and reacted like, you are like, what about us? Like we're addicted to it. Mm-hmm. And so in September, I did a pilot program called Break the Chain. And the tagline is, Dear Phone, it's not me, it's you. And it's not telling you to put your phone down. It's a 4-hour class. And I teach it right now. I teach it live on Monday nights. And then if you sign up for it, and you can't show up live, you get the video the next day and you can take it on your own. But I walk people through the science of how these phones were purposely developed in Silicon Valley to addict us. It is not a side effect. It was the plan. And I think if people know that, just like cigarettes, they purposely addicted people to them, and they know what they're doing. And I think if you know that, and I think it's right.
Well, just like the vapes. So they got in trouble. So what do? They create the vapes, which is even worse than the cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of the problem is people just don't know. So I walk them through the science behind it. I even show like the red dots, the red dots that come up and they say you have a notification.
Yes.
They picked red on purpose because it's the most urgent color to our brains and we cannot help but go and swipe it. That's all purposeful. So I teach that. The second class I teach about the algorithms, and so when I learned that stuff, I would go downstairs like Jerry Maguire to my family and be like, who's going with me to Congress? Like, this is so bad. I had no idea. Our phones don't just know who we are by what we're doing. The sensors in them know when you're going to the bathroom. And then they've got your undivided attention. They start feeding you ads. They put you in the mindset to sell the ads they're going to sell you. So if they know, like me, I'm a 48-year-old woman, so they start showing me ads for wrinkles and sagging skin, and they start making me feel bad about myself. But that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then they show me all the stuff that could fix that. And so in that class, after the class, I had my daughter, who's a computer programmer. She made tutorials to show people how to turn those sensors off on your phone. I just wanted to make this super simple. And then I go into the brain rewiring, and then I give all sorts of tactics you can use. So it's not put your phone down. I mean, it's not don't use your phone, because that's not going to ever happen.
Right.
It's how do you turn your phone into your servant versus your master? Like,
Oh, I love that. I think a lot of people forgot that the phone should be a tool.
It's a tool.
Use it as a tool, because if otherwise, you're seeing right now, phones are running people's lives.
Oh yeah.
And running and ruining.
And it's ruining our lives. And one of my favorite tricks that I came up with, this was my trademark trick. I call it the Swiss Army phone. And I told people, I held up a Swiss Army knife and I said, does anyone carry a Swiss Army knife around like this? And I had all the tools out. No. How do you use a Swiss Army knife? You have it in your pocket, you take it out, you pull one of the tools out, you use it, put it back, put it away. I said, use your phone like that. So I have people, and try this. It's incredible. When you pick up your phone, state out loud what you're going to use it for. Use it for that, close out of the app and put it back down. It gives you a natural stopping cue so that you don't get sucked into everything else. Like, I'm using this for email. And even if you're going to use it exactly like right away, I'm using this for email, pick it up, use it for email,
put it
back down. And then you consciously are going, okay, now I'm going to check Facebook. That's okay, but you're consciously doing it. You're not going from Facebook to Twitter to, and then you're 20 minutes later, what have I done? Because the research is showing we switch every 3 minutes, and it takes us over 20 minutes to get back into deep focus.
Well, yeah, because then Blu-rays will mess you up.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's also why a lot of people that's why sleep. A lot of people have sleep problems now.
Yeah. And we do challenges. I do a sleep challenge. I do a morning challenge. And like I said, there's no shaming. There's no guilt. It's all grace-filled, because I'm going through it too. But that's what I started for the adults, because I was like, we need to understand that this is on purpose, and there's good stuff about it, but we're a commodity. The whole thing is they actually have advertisers. And I know like people are like, no, this is not true. No, I have studied this. I have researched this. It's all confirmed. They have advertisers. We are auctioned off in real time for who wants to put their stuff in front of our faces. So Shannon's online. She's tired. Who wants in? I mean, that's disgusting.
It is.
So, and then you were saying it's ruining people's lives. So then I go back to my children thing. Like, you guys, if this is doing it to our brains, imagine their little brains. And if that doesn't get you, they're not getting childhood.
No, they're not.
Which was what just bothered me so much in 2008. Like, these poor kids.
I talked about this not too long ago. And the thing is, you see this a lot. Kids can be standing around, I want to say mainly teenagers, can be standing around in a group, and they're not talking. They're sitting there texting each other. I know.
And so let me explain to you why that is. So right as I was writing this class in August, our youngest is 22. His name's Gavin. He just graduated from the Citadel. He's a National Guardsman. He's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Very proud of him. But he's sitting at home on a Saturday night. And here I am, like, I've been working on these kids for how long? And I'm going, why are you not going out? Like, what is wrong with you? And he actually looked at me, and this is a life-changing thing that he said. He goes, it's not my fault. It's not our fault. And I go, wow. And what he meant was, and so I really took that very personally. And I went and looked, and it's because their brains were rewired the exact way I'm telling you. So they don't have the wiring to be comfortable with face-to-face interaction. It makes them extremely anxious to go to a grocery store. It makes them extremely anxious. And even my kids who are good at that stuff, they still are not drawn to it like you and me, because that part of their brain is not as big as ours is.
Well, how many kids even use the phone to actually call somebody?
No one.
Yeah.
No. They don't know how to do that.
I'll never forget. I can't remember if it was my niece or somebody. Well, and you see it with the Apple phones all the time. People have to have the newest one. And it's not, it ain't like the old days. It's not so they can call somebody. It's because it takes great photos.
Pictures. Yeah.
Or it's got this much memory. It's like, buy a camera.
Yeah. I know. No.
Really? Yeah. Come on.
Well, another thing I had people do is list out all the things they use their phone for, and it's like 50 things.
Oh yeah,
it's
nuts.
And it's an incredible tool, but you have to have dominion over it. You cannot let it rule you. But we're letting it rule us because it's got all these psychological tricks in it. They hired people. They hired behavioral psychologists from I wrote it down here. From the Persuasive Technology Lab at Stanford. That is who they hired to make these apps. So that you got to think about that. This is all on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's a business model, and they don't care if you're sitting at home all night. They do not care. But I guess what I was saying, like when Gavin said that to me, and I'm saying it to all of you, we are kind of, if we feel mad at these kids, like why are they standing in this circle? Why aren't they looking at each other? Because their brains aren't wired to do anything different. That is why we have to step in. We need to get them off of these things. And I know it is a great babysitter, but it is a destructive babysitter. It is a abusive babysitter. And if you get your kids playing again and you build that imagination muscle, guess what? You're not going to need to do that because they're going to start playing like we did. And that's going to be the switch here. That is my goal.
Yeah.
I don't want you to need my app because I want them to come home and play on their own.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. Let's take a little break here so I can tell you about my friends over at Four Seasons Landscape and Construction Services. And when it comes to lawn maintenance and lawn renovations, they are definitely the go-to people, even snow removal services. But something else that a lot of people don't think about that's very important that they do, stormwater maintenance, whether it's a pond clean out, remove overgrowth of woody ornamentals, debris, trash, and even drainage services. If you have a cracked foundation, they can rerun your downspouts, French drains, proper grading. There's so much that goes in to stormwater maintenance and the proper drainage in your yard, and a lot of people don't know how to do it. You don't want it to run into the bay. You don't want it to run towards your foundation. You need the professionals to take care of it. And the professionals are Four Seasons Landscape and Construction Services. Give them a call today, 443-390-YARD. That's 443-390-YARD, 9273. Or go to their website, fourseasonslandscapemd.com. Again, that's fourseasonslandscapemd.com. They're giving you sustainable landscapes for the future, and they are the ones that get your yard looking beautiful. Even with my cell phone, like when I'm recording, do not disturb, or it goes off. I do use it every day, but I use it for the tools. Like I use there's an app called Noom, which has helped me lose 60 pounds.
See, that's amazing. And that's a great way to use the tool. Yes.
There's another one, I forget the name of it. It's so I can check out plants. If I'm out outside in nature, which everybody should do.
That's very different.
You know,
those are great apps too.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want people. I just want people to think that I'm telling them to get off their phone or not use their phone. I just want you to be in charge, and I want you to get your time, your energy, and your joy back. I mean, even having your phone sitting next to you while you're working takes part of your brain power because you're trying to use your willpower to stay off of it. I tell people, put your phone on do not disturb. And if you're worried you're going to miss a call, you can put breakthrough calls. So you can say, yeah, the school can call me, my husband can call me, my wife can call me, my parents can call me, my kids can call me. So you'll hear the phone if those people call you, but put it on the couch behind you. So you have to actually get your butt off the chair and like consciously decide that you want to go check Facebook. So
I think that's another thing that has ruined people too is with the cell phones. If somebody sends you a message, an email, anything that's on your cell phone, because they can tell if you're online or whatever, I guess. But if you don't respond right away, they get upset.
Yeah.
It's like,
you know what? I said, I taught that in my class. I said, I made everybody say, it's okay to be unreachable. It's okay to be unreachable. I'm like, say that.
Yeah.
If somebody is upset with you for not getting back to them, then
they don't understand life.
They don't understand life and they're not your friend.
Right.
They're not your friend. If they're texting you and expecting an immediate response, that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
When I have a voicemail, I know somebody needs me. I mean, for real. If you're expecting, so I think that's just a culture. All this is a cultural change.
Well, and that's another thing. How many times do people call you and they don't leave you a voicemail, but then they get upset because you didn't call them right back?
I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's like,
the people being upset with you, we need to retrain ourselves. That's okay. Because it is exhausting to be constantly reachable. It's exhausting. I'm sure everybody here, I will give everybody here a challenge. Put your phone down and I call it an awe walk. And I did not develop that. I can't remember who came up with that, but I love it. Go for an awe walk, an awe drive. What I mean is leave your cell phone at your house and go somewhere that you usually go and look around you. You will be amazed at what you've been missing because you've been even listening to a podcast, which is fine, but just be silent. Drive somewhere and go out. This is another thing. Try to put your phone down and go out for a few hours. And if you're freaking out, I tell people just write down 2 numbers that if something happens and you need to get in touch with somebody, write down 2 numbers that you can call and you will be able to call them because everybody else has the phone. So you can just borrow someone's phone. You know what I mean? And if you're worried that your kid's school is not going to be able to get in touch with you, your kid's school should have yours, your spouse's, your parents. So, and if you're also like, well, but what if something bad happens? Listen, something bad can happen when you're on a plane or in the shower.
Yep.
So we just have to we've got to be rational about this. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the other thing too, and another reason I love these books is because you're teaching the activities and everything, but even going outside, because one of the things that kids and teenagers, even some young adults do not do, they're not going outside. They're not getting the vitamins they need. They're not enjoying nature. And I think if they do that, it's going to bring down your mental illnesses down a lot.
Oh, 100%. So so a couple things. So Gen Z is the first generation who went through puberty on the cell phone. So just imagine.
Oh my God. I never even thought about that.
Oh yeah. So they not only had to be, have their personal brand fine in school, they had to have an online brand. Can you imagine?
Jeez.
It's horrible. So the anxiety rate in that group of people, that poor group of people, which was my kids, is 145% increase in girls and 161 increase in boys. Like that is just not okay. And that's because of their brain is constantly that rewiring. It's constantly like ready for something bad to happen because their prefrontal cortexes got completely screwed up because they were constantly having stimulation. So they're at a hairline trigger for anxiety. So that's why their anxiety is so high. So that's that part. But then you have the other part that you just said is they're not going outside.
Nah.
And so I'm not even addressing the vitamin D and the blue light that you said. That is a whole other issue. And then, when I started this, I think a lot of people thought I was, fluff because I'm like, kids need to play again. Well, successful human development comes from interacting with other people. You've got to interact with other people. And when you play, I'm going to read you 12 benefits of play. So there's brain development, there's creativity, and then the third is social skills. So let me read you all the social skills you get when you're out playing tag with your friends. So collaborating with others, playing with others that have a common goal, negotiating, learning to follow rules, thinking of others and seeing their perspectives. Now think about how much we need that in the world right now. Solving conflicts fairly and independently, asserting yourself, following another's lead, showing sympathy and empathy, and communicating effectively. That's the social skills you get. And then I'm reading these because I don't want to forget one. You've got planning skills. So carrying out tasks logically within a given time frame. So you learn how we're going to do this and the amount of time we have, motor development, problem solving, language development, independence, visual, auditory, and spatial perception, which is crazy. But then one of my favorites is healthy expression. So you safely learn how to act out your emotions and cope with them. So you're outside, you lose tag, you have a fit. You're in a safe place to have a fit.
Yeah.
And you learn, hey, you know what? That was not the best way to act. Or you win and you have, you're bragging. That's not good either. You learn that. And so you've got all these kids now who are like getting their your monthly or yearly reviews at work. And they're like, because they can't handle that criticism, bad criticism. And so that is why play is so important.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, when they're doing that, that part of their brain is growing. And so when they're in a group of teenagers together, they don't need their phone. They can look at each other and talk.
Yep.
So it's just a huge deal. And on top of it, I like to say to people, I've never done this and had anybody not react like this. So if everybody who's listening closes their eyes and thinks of their favorite childhood memory, just give them a few seconds to think about it. I guarantee nobody, no matter what age you are, even if it's a child, is thinking of themselves on a screen.
Now, matter of fact, because when you were just talking about tag and everything, I was having flashbacks of when we were kids, we would play what's called freedom. So it's like hide and seek or tag, but you have teams.
I'm writing this down as a nugget. Freedom. Okay.
So you have teams. It's like hide and seek. And we would play in the court. And the funny thing is, the people I grew up with, whenever we get together, that always comes up.
Right, because it was so much fun.
So, the whole idea was whoever catches everybody on the team wins, but they're put in like a box, which is usually at the end of the driveway. And if somebody if I got my team is in that box, I come running, I run through that box and yell freedom. We're all free. And oh my God, we would be out there for hours.
Exactly. And then you change the rules.
Yes.
And one of my favorite things about problem solving is negotiating. Let's say you've got, 5 people on each team. Let's say another kid comes. So now you have 6 and 5. You guys are not, your problem just turned into a challenge, which is really good because you're not going to stop playing because you got an extra kid. You're just going to negotiate and come up with different rules. That is a really huge skill.
And one major rule. You're not allowed to hide inside a house. You had to stay outside.
Yeah, you gotta stay outside. But and you had so much fun. You're sweating.
Oh, God.
Your physical fitness, all this stuff. And so I just think besides that thing I just did, like think of your favorite memory. The other thing I like to say to people, a lot of people who are listening are parents or aunts and uncles. You would do anything for your kids, your nieces and nephews, right? You would do anything for them. We have got to give them the opportunity to have those memories.
Yes.
It's on us. It really is. Like I'm driven by it because I just can't imagine not having those memories.
One of the things I've been telling my nieces and nephews to get metal detectors for their kids. And I want to take them down on the farm and teach them metal detector. Get them outside. Because if kids find something to them, it's treasure.
Right.
That's something they'll fall in love with. And they'll want to do it all the time.
So my 27-year-old got a metal detector up in Wisconsin. And we found our treasures were a bunch of, this is a 27-year-old. We found a bunch of nails that had fallen off the dock. Okay. We just found and then we found an old spoon. And so we created a tree, a really ugly tree with all that stuff. And we left it up there for my older brother.
That is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
This is a 27-year-old right at the time. Now she's 28, but we were laughing so hard. We're like, because we were just being silly. But that's life. You should have fun.
But think about it. You were finding nails that came out of the dock, right? When was that dock built?
A long time ago.
So those nails have some history.
They're treasures.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You could create the stories of the kids. It's like, who drove that nail into the dock?
Yes. And then they come up and they start using their imagination to create these stories. And I think, and we'll go back to the app. I do believe it's going to be hard to get the kids wanting to start doing that. That's why you've got the points and rewards. Because you're like, oh, you want that cookie for dessert? All right, go outside and do this FASSA activity for 20 minutes and you'll get your 200 points or whatever.
Yeah.
But the beauty about children is if you get them playing, they'll keep playing. They're just like us. They are us. Like they have the same makeup that we have.
Yep.
I think a lot of us are looking at the Gen Zers and the younger ones and going, oh, they're different than us. No, they've just been bombarded by technology.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only difference.
Technology raised them.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah. And again, I'm not shaming anybody. We didn't know, but now we know. So now we've got to do better.
Well, even see it in some, I was going to say, you even see it in some daycares where they'll put the kids in front of a TV or whatever. But think about school, public school.
Oh,
what can they do now? They can take their phones and they can even be on their phones during class.
Yeah, I like those schools that are now saying that the kids cannot have the phones and they're making them put them away before they even get to school.
Which is the way it should be.
When is the best time that you had in school? It was when you were at the lockers in passing periods and before and after class. That is when you saw your buddies. That's when you did all your fun stuff. That's when you shared stories. That was the fun.
Yeah.
Or at the cafeteria. These kids don't have to do any of that. They are like literally missing out on the joy of childhood.
And they're not being taught to learn. I remember when I was in school, Casio brought out the watch with the calculator on it.
Yeah.
And it was banned from school. We could not have that in school because they wanted you to learn how to do math the proper way. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, if you're allowing these kids to use
There's no way.
Yeah.
And I understand people are like, well, they don't need to use it because they can always use a calculator, but it's good for your brain. It's good for your brain.
But they cannot always use a calculator.
No, you're going to be at the store, you're going to be somewhere. But I'm hearing that's the argument.
Oh, yeah.
But even so, you need to understand these concepts. You need to be able to tip somebody or not tip them as much as they
don't even get me started on that one.
Well, I'm going to expect you to tip. I'm going to expect you to tip me after this, by the way.
But I mean, they're like, well, I said, because I told my daughter, I said, if you go out, make sure you leave a tip. Well, how much? I said, 20, 25%, whatever.
Yeah,
how do I figure that out? It's like, oh, wow.
Oh.
But I went to, was it a store or a restaurant not too long ago? And I forget what the total was. She could not count out the change.
Oh,
it was all. I think it was a craft show, so they didn't have a register there. They were doing all cash, and she couldn't count out the change. That's like,
ooh, that's not okay.
No,
that's not okay.
No, it's scary. All right, I need to ask you about the podcast because you haven't started that yet, right?
It has not been started. So the podcast will be called "Let There Be Joy" because that's what we want to do. We want to bring.
I love that.
Into life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have experts on there, and I've met some wonderful people as I've been out podcasting and spreading this message. And what it's going to be is I'm going to have those people come on and give you 3 actionable steps that you can put into your life that day, that week to start bringing joy back into your life.
I love that.
So, like I just said, there's the Swiss Army phone. Try that. There's, putting friction between yourself and there's not picking up your phone for 10 minutes in the morning. Those are 3 actionable things you can put into action. I'm saying action, but that day you can implement them into your life that day to bring joy. So I want it to be very simple, fun. And I want to bring on people who have these offerings because one of the things that happens with me is I get people through my coaching class and they now have time.
Right.
My idea is to free up their time. Well, they might be like, well, I want some parenting advice or I want to write a book or I want to garden. Well, I don't have those resources for you. So I'm going to show you, here's some people I've met who you can reach out to and get this help.
Smart.
So that's my goal with it.
I love that. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question because I think everybody doesn't, but everybody should have a morning routine to help you get along through the day. What's your morning routine?
So I'm going to tell you what I teach.
Okay.
Because I want people to take this into account. Mine's a little different. I teach this thing that I do 3+3. I want you to wake up in the morning, not look at your phone, and I want you to write 3 things you're grateful for and 3 things you're planning to accomplish that day. So you're setting your brain and your heart for gratitude, and then you're setting an intention. And if you don't pick up your phone, you're not letting social media or email dictate your day.
Yeah.
So that's something I like to teach people. Like, get yourself in gratitude and get yourself into intention. And the intention can just be, I'm going to take a shower today. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to have a great time with Rich today. I'm going to call my mom today. That's it. And you get those 3 simple things done. For me, I get up, I like to do that. And then I like to pray and worship because it just gives me in a good state of mind.
Okay.
So I like to stay away from my phone for a really long time. I do use my phone, though, to turn on the worship music, but I have got to train myself, hit that, put the stupid thing down.
Right.
And if I find myself slipping, which I do because I'm a human, I just won't bring it with me. I can't. But I keep it on do not disturb. But I think the morning you've got to stay off your phone because if you get on it, it is going to dictate your day.
Absolutely.
The worst thing that can happen, it used to happen to me, is I'd pick it up and I'd look and I'd see an email and it would just put me into a downward spiral for the rest of the day.
You got to start off the day positive.
Yeah, you have to start positive. It sets the rest of your day. It gets you, if you start in stress, the rest of your day is stress.
Yeah.
If you started in gratitude, the things that come up are much less stressful because you're like, whatever. And you set those 3 intentions and they don't have to be hard. Set easy ones so you accomplish them and you feel good about yourself. And
I agree with you 110% there. And the thing is, a lot of people would say those easy ones are hard. Well, they're only hard if you think they're hard.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Like my intention with you, I told you about my night last night, and all this stuff. And I was like, no, I'm going to have a good time with him.
You haven't fallen asleep either.
I have not fallen asleep.
So those of you listening, Shannon did not get any sleep last night.
I've been up for a really long time.
I was getting ready to call you Joy again.
Yes, okay. I love it. Yes. I told him, like, he's going to be talking to me. All of a sudden, I'm just going to slump out of the chair. I'll land on my shoulder, and then you'll really be in pain.
See, now, your morning routine is similar to mine. I can wake up, even with the shoulder, if I wake up and I'm in pain before anything, I told you about our daughter, and she was stillborn, but I was able to, my mother went and got a angel that was on a music box out of the gift shop when we were in the hospital. So I was able to put that in her hand, and I still have that. Oh. So what I do every morning when I wake up, I grab my angel before I even get out of bed, and I'll say a prayer. And then I have a rock that my oldest daughter, who's now 24, got me when she was a kid, and it looks like a heart. I call it my grateful rock. And I always say something I'm grateful for. The other thing that I do is I'll either forgive somebody or forgive something. Then I'll get up, I'll make the coffee. Then I start my day.
That is beautiful. And it's not hard. If you get into it, it's not hard. And then you just wake up and you feel so good.
My wife hates it.
She hates it.
She's like, why are you so happy?
Right? Well, I mean, if anybody's listening and say that's hard, I challenge you to do it 2 days in a row this week.
Yeah.
Whenever you listen to this episode, do it for 2 days in a row and see how different you feel. And then slip back and looking at your phone first thing and compare the 2.
Oh, yeah.
You will see a huge difference.
Oh, big time. Big time. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talked about the FASSA Tales. Explain the joke books.
Oh, my joke books. Yes. Okay. So I have God's Dad Jokes and God's Dad Jokes coloring book, was actually published today. I'm very excited about it. But yeah, just today. It just went live on Amazon. So I was I don't even know. I was praying one day. For some reason, my FASSA Tales books kept showing up with God's dad jokes books on Amazon. I was like, why? Not God's dad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would put them out for advertising, it's like people who are buying this are buying dad jokes. I'm like, how? There's no sense to it. So I'm in, I have a prayer closet, and now that people have heard me and you have seen me, I have to shut myself away or there's just no hope for anybody. Like I have to put myself in a dark room and just be like, concentrate. So I'm in there and I'm praying, and all of a sudden God starts like, and it's going to sound weird. He starts dropping jokes on me, biblical jokes. And I was like, what is this? And I said, well, the Father wants to get on the dad jokes, apparently. So I would go into my closet. So step back. I have 3 jokes. My first joke that I think I came up with was kind of like quote unquote naughty. And I was like, okay, but if people are listening here and they know the Bible, there is a talking donkey in the Bible, which is hilarious. And so my first joke was, and he talks to prophet named Balaam. So my first joke was, and like I said, it was like out of nowhere. What did the donkey say to Balaam? And it's, don't be such a me. Naughty. It's funny. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, right? I was like, oh, that might cross the line. But I come out and I've got like, why did the chicken cross the road? Because the Moses went there, the Red Sea, like, just silly dad jokes. Yeah. So I have 3 and I call one of my illustrators and I'm like, hey, I want to do this. And I want to put illustrations with it because that would be really different. How many jokes do you have? I have 3. You have 3? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but I'm going to figure out how to do this. So let's just do it. So she agrees to do it with me. And this is stepping out in faith. And I'm telling people, if you have something, step out in faith and God will meet you. Mm-hmm. Every time I went into my closet from that point forward, as I was walking around, anytime I was reading the Bible, he kept dropping jokes. I wrote over 100 jokes in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible.
So
I didn't even tell.
So you got more books coming out then.
No, this has all 100 jokes in it.
Oh, wow.
I put them all in there. Yeah. And like 30 of them have the illustration. And then we've got like angels and stuff throughout it. Because I did the illustrations, I turned it into a coloring book for kids with just those 30 jokes. And then on the opposite side, I put the kid-friendly scripture. So something that was really cool is like, even with that Balaam joke, I put the scripture reference to every single joke I put in there because I thought that could be cool for people to do Bible studies, or even like a pastor to stand up and be like, this is actually biblical. And here's a fun way to get you to know the Bible. So with the kids, I did the joke and then I put the kid-friendly scripture reference by it. And then I also put a fun question to ask them, like, John the Baptist, would you rather eat locusts and wear camel's fur, or eat honey and wear a leather belt? I don't know. It's a toss up. So just, ask them, but you never know. You learn about your kid. And then I put 3 of my FASSA activities in there, but biblically. So I made one up that was like, oh, if you were going to live inside the whale's stomach like Jonah, but you knew you were going to be safe, what cool things would you do in his tummy? So I just kind of combined the 2. So that's the joke book and then the coloring book. And so
I have to admit, cicada does taste pretty good when it's sauteed.
So that would be.
I'm just saying. You got it.
Yeah. So that's those books. It was completely random, but I had to honor him because who gets 100 jokes in 2 weeks? Yeah.
So you love to cook, don't you?
No.
You don't? Okay, well then never mind. That nixed that idea.
No, I like baking. But cooking is just weird. Cooking is, you have to know like different things. Baking is like, this is exactly what you need to do. So I'm much better at baking. And I think this is super weird, but I think the reason I like baking is because I'm so creative in my day-to-day job, quote unquote career, whatever.
Right.
When I get to bake, they tell me exactly what to do and I just do that.
So I'm seeing a recipe book along the same lines of the FASSA Tales and everything to teach kids. What better thing for parents and kids to do together?
That's really a good idea. Thank you.
Especially since you don't cook.
I know. My husband is an amazing cook.
There you go. So you can get recipes from him.
Yeah. And thank God, because I don't know what I'd be eating like goldfish every night. So
The funny thing is, one of the things I love doing, although my daughter doesn't like doing it anymore, and my one niece, when she comes over, although she's 11 and a half now, she does it. I love grilling. And they would love especially my one niece, she would love to help me grill.
To learn that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. I just made sure that I didn't tell her to start the fire because, I don't.
Yeah, we can wait on that.
Wait a little while. But the thing is, and we were talking before we started, yes, I do Santa professionally. One of the things that it bugs me in a way, one of the things that a lot of kids ask for is a phone. But the one thing that does make me happy are the other things that they ask for. Whether it's, some type of toy, a bicycle. Oh my God. I do get kids asking for bikes a lot, which is great because that means they're outdoors.
They want to go
They're
outside.
Exercising. They're doing
love
things.
To hear that. The reason they want a phone is because all their friends have phones.
Exactly.
That's all it is. And this is going to be shocking. I do not think kids should have smartphones until they're 18 years old. I just do not. I think you should be an adult before you have that. Like you have to be an adult before you drink or have a cigarette, because then you can make the choice of what you want to do to yourself. If people are like, well, I want to get in touch with my kid, get them a flip phone.
Yeah.
They don't need the internet in their pocket. They absolutely don't. And they don't want it. Kids want to play. We have to remember they want to play.
Mm-hmm. Well, when they ask me for a phone, my first question is, oh, really? Who is it that you want to call?
I love it.
They're like, well, I don't want to call anybody. I want to play on. I said, well, all right, I'll talk to mommy and daddy and see what they say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell them no. I can't.
Right.
Santa should never say no, that you can't have something, but it's, and then some of the other ones that the kids ask for will just bring me to tears. I'll tell you this story, then I'm going to get to my last question. So I think it was last year. I had, there's a little boy and his two younger sisters, and they're sitting in my lap and I'm asking each one what they want. And the little boy said, I just want my mommy to be happy. Because I said, you want mommy to be happy? Well, yeah, her and daddy aren't together anymore, and I want her to be happy. Oh. It's hard when you hear that stuff and to not cry. And oh God, I can't tell you how many times the stories I've heard when I'm done, I don't go to get in my car. I go to get in my sleigh, and and it's like I just lose it. It's like, or I'll tell the story, and it's like, wow. It's like, all right. So anyway, something you never told anybody. What's the website?
Oh, yes, that'd be great. It's sscoulter.com. So SS, like I'm a ship or a solar system. If that's either like Planet FASSA, the solar system Coulter. Yes. Oh. So SS Coulter, and Coulter is COULTER. So if you go there, you will see the FASSA Tales, God's dad jokes.
I almost broke my computer.
I really excited. See, it's me. You'll see an coaching. That's the Break the Chain course, and then the app. And we have signups for when that's going to become available. I'm hoping, I don't know when this is going to air, but hoping early 2026 for that. And I do have
go ahead.
Early 2026 for the app. And then my next Break the Chain course, my next live course is January 5th, because I wanted to treat it like a New Year's resolution. But I'm also creating one that you can take fully on your own. And I'm going to break up the sessions into like 15, 20-minute sessions that you can do on your own. My whole thing is I just want to help people get free, get their energy, their time, and their joy back. So that's my goal with it.
And when's the podcast going to launch?
In January or February. Lots going on,
February.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of New Year's resolutions, I found out the best way to make your resolutions. Don't have a resolution. I don't set New Year's resolutions. I'm sorry, because nobody has more than one resolution. You always have one. I'll set goals.
Yeah.
I found if I set goals, that's better, because you always hear, resolutions are made to be broken.
Oh, yeah. Well,
goals are not.
You have to set things that are realistic. And I'm not someone that you shouldn't have a reach, but you've got to be able to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
You've got to be able to
and you don't have to. That's what I love about goals, because you can have long-term goals and short-term goals. Resolution's
and
1 year.
That's true. And you know what? The other thing is too, with like, let's say you want to start working out. Don't go to the gym for an hour the first day.
Yeah.
Do something for 5 minutes. Feel how good it is, and then add on to that. That's why I start my morning thing with people. I say just do 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to add to it, because you're going to see how good that feels. But if you're making yourself do something crazy, you're never going to stick. You're never going to stick to that. You're going to burn out.
No.
Super fast.
Exactly. All right. So before I get to my last question, is there anything you would like to add?
I just want to add that this is something that we're going to have to lock arms with each other as a culture to change this around, because, I know that not putting your child on a phone in a restaurant may cause some issues, but if we can be patient with each other and know that these are good parents who are trying to get their kids to be, socially acceptable, like socially be able to look at people, to have conversations, to talk to the server. They're going to have problems. They're going to have meltdowns sometimes in the grocery store. So be patient with those children, and be patient with Gen Z. We put them on those phones. They can rewire their brains. They can take classes like mine. We need to show them that they are bold lions, not anxious squirrels that they're being right now. Like, we need to show them who they are, because they're our future. So as hard as this might be, this is our future of our country. So
I love that.
Of our world, I should say.
I love that. Not anxious squirrels, but bold lions.
Yeah.
You need to go get that put on a shirt.
Okay. You're my marketing guy here. All this stuff, we got freedom teams. Yeah.
All right. So for my last question, I need you to pick a number between 1 and 100.
Oh. 10.
See, I figured you were going to pick your age, 28. 10.
Oh, gosh, you're so sweet.
Number 10. Why number 10?
I like the number 10.
Okay.
It's a good number. It was my soccer number. I was a soccer player.
Oh, wait. Nobody's ever picked 10, because I don't recognize this question.
Oh, no.
No, I like this. Okay. At least I don't think anybody's ever picked it. If your life had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Oh, man. Joy to the World.
Three Dog Night?
Oh, that's hilarious. Or like the Christmas song. It'd be very similar to Joy to the World, because and I'm not stealing the Christmas song, but yeah, Three Dog Night too. I love laughing. I love having a good time.
No.
I know. This world, I like to spread joy. My biggest thing that I want to do with all the stuff I'm working on is impact. I want to have an impact. I want to bring joy back to people. But on the flip side of that too, Christmas is like my jam.
Mm-hmm.
And I am on bin restriction at my house with my husband. I've already blown the circuits multiple times. He's had to have electricians come out. So I'm like Clark Griswold in a female's body. And I tell people I'm trying really hard to get on the Jesus birthday decorating team in heaven. And I think I've got a spot. So it's the Christmas.
I love that. I love that.
Love decorating.
I do love Christmas. I don't decorate as much because I do turn my flagpole. I have a 25-foot flagpole out front. I do turn that into a Christmas tree.
Christmas tree? Dream.
Yeah.
It's a dream. I haven't been able to accomplish it yet.
I've been trying to find giant gift boxes to put underneath, and I can't. So I'm going to have to make them. But I'm so busy doing Santa.
Yeah, you're busy. I have a friend who does Santa. He's busy the whole time. And it's beautiful.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. People you do Santa and kids, you see a lot of kids. It's amazing. I don't know what it is, but everybody turns into a kid at Christmas time. Because I can't tell you how many adults want to sit on Santa's lap. As a matter of fact, our local Chamber of Commerce, they have me come and play Santa, and there ain't no kids there. It's all adults, and they're coming up to get, sit on my lap and get pictures taken with me.
See, and that is the perfect ending to our time together, because I want everybody to become children again and let our children be children, because it is so wonderful and joyful. It's what makes this whole life good.
Thank you for listening to the Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. You know, it takes a lot to put a podcast together, and my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following. Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com. The Joppatown Lions Club. Serving the community since 1965. Visit them at joppatownlionsclub.org. And don't forget the E at the end of Joppatown because they're extraordinary.